up for another 50 years. It was at this time that the peppermint and wintergreen flavors were also added to the candy, making the candy cane the sweet Christmas delight it is today. Candy canes, part of a 4-century-old custom of Christmas.
That custom of Christmas was brought to you by LK Mobile Locksmith Service. They appreciate the opportunity to serve you and will be at your service in the new year. Best wishes for a joyous Christmas from LK Mobile Locksmith Service.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that's not true. As one of the largest and most successful neuropathy treatment practices in the country, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers has grown to 9 regional centers and helped over 14,000 patients, like John from Morgantown. John had such extreme numbness and pain that he was having difficulty feeling his car pedals. Then John discovered Tri-State Neuropathy Centers and their effective FDA-approved treatment program that has no drugs, is non-invasive and painless. John's great results have given his freedom back, and he's doing the things he wants, like simply driving or cutting the grass. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers help John, along with thousands of others. Let them help you next. Call 304-777-2068. That's 304-777-2068. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
It's a new day at WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital, and we're bringing a new level of quality health care to our community. From primary care to specialty services, our team has always put patients first. And now, thanks to our merger with WVU Medicine, our commitment to patient-centered care has grown even stronger. With new resources, a growing staff, and advanced technology, our team is here to provide you with top-quality care when it matters most. Discover the new Uniontown Hospital and see how we've grown.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect gift. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson is here in Uniontown to help you select the right protection at the right price. Nate will make sure you understand your coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call Nate when you want the real deal.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of John Marietta and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Fayette County Recorder of Deeds Office or Fayette County government. This program is privately produced and funded, and no county resources are used for its production or promotion.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was trucking up the highway, minding my own lane, with some dude in a Prius went and flipped me off. Guess my redneck hit him wrong. Seems like everyone these days is a ticking time bomb full of hate for folks like me who don't agree and ain't ever gonna change. And it gets me thinking, leave this long.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly, and it's another Trumptastic day in Fayette County. Today's show is being brought to you by Burns Krause Funeral Home, Thundering Hills Feed and Supply. Don't forget to get out there and get your fresh Christmas tree. She has plenty of them. Go see her. She's out on 201, right outside of Vanderbilt. Fayette Recovery Storage and U-Haul, HC Containers, Laser Brothers, Highline Motorsports. It's coming to Christmas. Greg always has something good to sell. Get out there and see Greg up at Highline Motorsports. Humbert Sanitation and Septic Pumping, Fayette Structures, Country Motor Sales, Premier Auto Glass, Fayette County Mega Patriots Group, HBJ Radio, Mauser's Tire Center, Solid Foundation Ministries, The Ink Spot in South Connersville, HBJ LLC, Mung's Auto Body and Repair, Fayette County Mega Patriots, and I said that already, but anyways, we're going to say it again, and Fayette Structures. And Gino, I'll tell you what, you got to get some sheds down there.
Well, we did. We just got another garage in and 2 other little buildings, but we'll be ready for spring.
Well, let's get started. This is only a half-hour program, and I'll tell you what, I was anxious to get back on. Is not my word like fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? That's Jeremiah 23:29. Folks, that's not a comfort verse. It's a wake-up verse. And I'll tell you what, after stepping away for a bit and coming back home, the fire is burning hotter than ever. I rested, I prayed, and I took a deep breath. But while I was gone, the truth didn't take a vacation, because while I was out, the rocks started cracking. Articles after article came out, written by Robert Burns, raising hard questions about how the public's trust is being handled in this county. Not gossip, not whispers, facts on paper, questions in black and white, a hammer striking stone, just like in the Bible verse. Jeremiah warned us about leaders who speak smooth words while hiding rot underneath. He warned us about folks who wear authority like a costume and forget the weight that comes with it. And when the same concerns keep rising to the surface, that's not coincidence, it's conviction. Now hear me clearly. This program does not fear the fire. We don't duck the hammer. We don't run from the truth when it gets uncomfortable. That's why I'm telling you straight. And hopefully, next week, Robert Burns will be on this show. We'll talk openly about what he's uncovered, why it matters, and what accountability is supposed to look like in a county built by working hands and honest sweat. And let me say this plainly, right here, right now. Scott Dunn, Vince Vacides, this is your invitation. Stop hiding behind the hosts who already agree with you. Stop ducking the tough conversations. Stop doing interviews where the questions are pre-approved, the follow-ups never come, and the hard facts are left untouched. If you believe your record stands on its own, then bring it right here. Come on this show. Sit across from me and Gino. Let us ask the questions, not the fluff. Answer the questions the taxpayers are asking at their kitchen tables, at their workplaces, and then at lunchtime when they're eating their bologna sandwiches. Answer the question the county workers are asking when their health insurance goes up next year. Answer the questions about taxes, spending, priorities, and trust. No ambush, no shouting, no editing. Just the truth, spoken plainly on the record, where the people can hear it for themselves. Because leadership isn't proven in friendly interviews. It's proven when you're willing to stand in the light and answer for your decisions. The door is wide open. This mic is alive, and Fayette County is listening. And Donald Trump never, ever cowered when he was asked. As Jeremiah also said, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Do I need to repeat that? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Yet who can know it? That's why accountability matters. That's why transparency matters. That's why this county matters. So if you thought things were quiet while I was gone, think again. The fire is lit. The hammer is swinging, and the truth is knocking louder enough. It can't be ignored. I am Jon Marietta. I am the Hillbilly, and this is a program where folks who still believe leaders should fear God more than headlines, answer to the people they serve, and tell the truth even when it shakes the ground they're standing on. Okay.
Whoa.
I don't know, Gino. We'll find out.
Well, John, you're just while you were away, all kind of things were blowing up. I saw the article from Mr. Burns on the particularly on the Fayette copier scandal, and I call it a scandal because it's not that I don't know that they did anything technically illegal, but it sure doesn't seem right. So the allegations in the article was that, or the statements in the article was that they spent $700,000 a year on a copier contract.
Well, I did ask him at the budget meeting. I asked him. I did mention it. They can say that I didn't, but I did. And I also sent him an email about it, about the copiers, the deal with the copiers. In the original budget, they had me down for like $9,200, I believe. It was over $9,000 for two copiers. So right away, me being the hillbilly I am, and it didn't. It seemed like the price jumped from one year to the next like a lot. I said I don't need both of these copiers. I said, does somebody else in the courthouse need one of the copiers? I can figure out how to maintain a copier on my own, or we'll go buy one and we'll upgrade it and we'll get a better copier than what we're being provided with right now. But they pretty much told me to suck it up.
Well, so the logic is that the county, for folks that don't know, they negotiate the copier contract of all the offices together in hopes of getting a better deal, right? And that would be the wisdom, right? We're going to lump all these copiers together, but then in the Burns article that I read. It even had a link to the actual contract, so I carefully read it, and it said specifically that we're paying about $700,000 a year just for copiers. But then it was alleged that, no, that's also some IT work in there. And then we dug a little further to find out that they at least claimed that they used the CoStars program. And for people that don't know, CoStars is a program by which counties and different businesses and things, but mainly entities like 501c3s, but particularly municipal governments, they can buy things, and it's a way to work around the bidding process because it's not always doesn't make sense to bid everything, and it is a process. But the copier contract was $3.9 million, and they claim they use a CoStar bid or CoStar client. They didn't have to put it out for bid. Now, the commissioners are allowed to put anything out for bid they want, but this is maybe a legal workaround. But then the article went further to say it wasn't a CoStar contract. So I don't know if it was.
Well, there didn't seem to be no numbers from CoStar in the contract.
There was some weird language in the contract that maybe it referred to some other older contract. It was a continuation. And now listen, folks. I don't know if it's legal to buy, if it was a straight up legal, but I can tell you what, if you're going to spend $3.9 million on something with CoStars, and I can tell you from my short time in county government, and John, you can probably verify this, most of the county vendors advertise that, hey, we can beat CoStars. I mean, that's kind of their claim to fame. Hey, we can beat them on this or that. And so take the time to bid it. But they didn't. That didn't happen. So they're at least alleging, and that's interesting. So that's being investigated. I know folks are filing right to knows, and it's a hot topic when you spend money on $400,000 on IT and $300,000 on copiers. And apparently it didn't go out for bid. So that would be horrible. And nothing against the firm that has it now. I'm sure if it went out through the bidding, they probably would be one of the likely bidders. But what about all the other businesses in Fayette County that were closed out of that bidding? You know, I think there's a half dozen copier companies in Fayette County?
Probably, I know of three, and besides the one.
One of your sponsors, actually, I think, is Brothers Laser.
Yeah, they're and I have
nothing against it, but when you're raising taxes, and you see we see what's happening, folks. Here, they just did a big tax increase. They bought all these new buildings. Maybe some of them copiers are on the third floor of the Gallatin Bank building. Is there anybody up there? I mean, they need all these copiers. Sure but this is a major expense, folks.
Yeah.
You're going to spend, and if it is only $300,000, and then a multiple year contract, this is technology. Technology is supposed to get cheaper. I know myself. I have just in my business. I have a color copier that indexes everything. I bought it used. Now I'm not suggesting that the government or schools buy used things, but I just know technology is getting drastically cheaper everywhere, except apparently in the commissioner's unit.
Well, I have a printer in the office that I bought myself, and it because I wanted a color printer, and the county we didn't have a color printer in the office, so I wanted a color printer in the office. So I paid for it myself, and I buy paper for it myself, and I keep all the receipts for that. But anyways, if we need something printed in color, then we use it. But I got it refurbished, and just like you said, just like you did, and the most expensive part of that printer is the ink.
Is the toner. Right.
So,
well, you know,
I mean,
folks, we do, you know, and we have, I want to clarify terminology. We use the word corruption sometimes. And my definition of corruption, and so that everybody knows where I'm coming from, you know, you technically might find some weird legal loophole to do something, you know, in county government or to justify it. But come on, when we know what's right and wrong, and just because, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. We found out recently, John, well, you were aware, I don't know if you caught wind of this, but we found out that the commissioner signed a non-disclosure agreement with Fay Penn.
Yeah, that.
Who are you working for? Are you working for the county, or are you working for the Fay Penn? Which, and let's be honest, Fay Penn's worth about $50 million, and the amount of money that the county flows runs through Fay Penn's astronomical. We know people being blocked from getting right to know requests done based on that NDA, and those poor people in GANS are really fighting. I don't even know very many people from GANS personally, but they're fighting and they're trying to get information about Fay Penn and information about the commissioners, and they're really getting a big time runaround. I feel for them, because back when we were doing the injection wells and we were fighting that was because actually one person tipped us off early, was a tax collector, Mary Grace Butel in Dunbar Town, tipped us off that they were going to be doing these injection wells. And we got off to an early start and had an early response. John, you know, you as recorder of deeds, well, what's a tax collector have to do with injection wells?
No.
In a different township, nothing, right? No. But because you're on the inside, you hear things, and John, like you with taxes, you know, you're off. I mean, you do what you can to keep taxes down when you run your office, and all the row officers do. But when you hear about a tax increase, you hear about corruption, and whether that's illegal, you know, something illegal or immoral, or, you know, there's a big difference. Something that isn't right, you bring it to the public. And we need more officials doing this, like Mary Grace Butella, John Marietta, Charity Grimm. She recently forwarded some information asking the Attorney General to investigate Fay Penn. You know, because there was a lot of information out there, and with a whistleblower lawsuit, you know, this agency's got, and it was actually reported on their 990s. They didn't hide from it. Tons of conflicts of interest with different board members and things. And now we found out about an NDA, you know, and that is a non-disclosure agreement, and it restricts the commissioners. They can only talk about certain economic aspects, the inside stuff. You know, they can't be transferred bound by that agreement. So listen, yes, there's a lot of shady things going on. Are they illegal? Maybe not. Maybe technically they're not illegal, but these people are being very creative at finding ways to you manipulate tax dollars. And one is by not putting big contracts out for bid. I mean, let's call it what it is. Everybody knows that. And again, nothing against the companies, but it's when you're in business.
We're not talking about.
When you're in business, your business got to survive. You got to do what you got to do. And if you're in a county where you've got crooked politicians, you got to do what you got to do to survive there.
Yeah, we're not talking about a contract where somebody's cleaning the windows for.
No, this is a $3.9 million contract.
This is a big deal, and if this one's out there like that, we're trying to figure out
how many more are out there like that.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, the county is just, the budget's just exploded, and you know, people are having a tough time out there now. I know, you know,
a good friend of mine. He just and it took a year. It took 1 year for the taxes to catch up to him, because he pays an escrow in his mortgage, and he get his mortgage payment for next year went up over $900.
And this, and listen, folks, this is a modest house. Like, you know, he's not living in a mansion.
Yeah, and
I know who we're talking about.
He's the third person that called me about this, and
this is when you'll see it. That tax increase is getting applied this month, this month and next month,
because it's getting
to your mortgage.
To your mortgage for next year, because of the escrow and the way the escrow the payments and for the taxes, but it's just like I told you, Gino. I can tell you right out here on Morgantown Road, there's a gentleman that I've been friends with for years, and he told me, he said this was the first time in his life that he wasn't able to make is it the end of September, I believe. My wife pays the taxes, so don't hold me to this, but I believe if you pay them by the end of September, you get a little bit of
discount.
You get a discount. He said it was the first time in his life that he owned several properties, and he said the first time in his life he's not been able to pay the taxes by the end of September, and he said this year, he said it was going to be, hopefully he was going to get it done by the end of October. But
well, here's the real problem, though. There's no end in sight. You're not seeing any cuts coming out of the commissioner's unit, right? You're not seeing the commissioners making any big cuts. All you see is more spending, more growth. Now they're getting grants to have these vision meetings, to do long-term planning.
Well, I thought that was what Fay Penn was supposed to be doing.
Well, not just Fay Penn. We have a half dozen economic development agencies in Fayette County, and and frankly, Fay Penn. I mean, after what we saw when some of their on their 990s and stuff that's come to light. That, my gosh, that really needs to be reviewed. I mean, the federal government's dumped millions and millions of dollars into this county. And it appears, based on what we saw on Fay Penn's 990s, that certain select board members are just grabbing up the money.
Well, the one thing that I keep looking at every time I drive by it, because it's like I tell everybody, you can take Dunbar out of the boy, but you can't. You can take the boy out of Dunbar, but you can't take Dunbar out of the boy. But because I go to Dunbar because actually JB's Market down there, they've helped us out many times on the radio here. But they sell the best buttermilk in Fayette County now. The Jacksons don't make their own buttermilk. But anyways, I go. There's a building sitting right there by the fairgrounds, across from the fairgrounds. Let's get to it, and it's empty. I mean, just empty. I drove by and drove down to it. It don't appear that there's even a floor in this building. It's just a great big building.
Massive, millions of dollars spent.
I don't have no idea what it costs. Do we have any idea? Maybe we need to find that out.
Well, we can't get right to nose, and the commissioners can't tell you, right? Because they got an NDA. Unless it's public information, you only hear what you want to hear. Or what they want you to hear from Fay Penn. But that's just one problem in the county. So, folks, right now we're seeing people stand up. Tax collectors, we've got great recorder of deeds here, Jon Marietta, standing up, calling out these increases. We've seen other elected officials. But listen, we need people to run for these offices, every office. We need honest people. If we don't do it, if people don't start stepping up and getting involved, and not just one or two, we need an army of people. And if it's not going to happen in the shadow of Trump, who's emboldened a lot of people to step forward. We know how bad it is. We know firsthand what happens to people that run for office, the things that get said, and how nasty it is, and even all the way up to sometimes death threats, even in a small county. But it's very important that we get people to step up and take these offices, these school board races. I mean, it's just important. We really need to look at the upcoming senators race. We got legislators. Now, Charity Grimm is also encouraging people to step up and run. I mean, now she's one that goes beyond. Charity Grimm did not have to come to the commissioners meeting and call them out for raising taxes, but she did because she still represents those people, even though it's a county issue. Jon did. That's not. But we need elected officials. We need our treasurer, our controller, our register of wills, all the row officers. If they see things, they're on the inside. They need to step up. People need to be bold. This is a time for boldness. We are definitely, everybody, I mean, I don't care which party you're with, you got to agree the country's on the wrong track. And locally, we're way on the wrong track. So look, folks, you got to stand up now, make your voices heard, run for these offices. If we can't get control, we have a small window, I believe, with Donald Trump being the president. There's a small time limit here and if we can't get it done under the shadow of Donald Trump, it's just not gonna happen for us. We need to do it now, folks. We need to stand up. When we hear things, here's things about a gas well, boom, we all went into action. And we need more people doing that kind of stuff. And regardless of party, it doesn't matter. This is just county. This is just spending the money wisely. When we're having these dream vision boards of what we want Fayette County to be, that's okay. I mean, there's a time and place for that. But I'm not so worried about what it's going to be. I'm worried about today, right now. How are we going to get through this year? We've got hungry people. I mean, we've got the Uniontown police force collapsing. Uniontown's a city, and I don't know, they've got every government agency has its own problems, but basically they don't have enough money. And Uniontown is one of the highest tax municipalities.
It
So
is.
guess what, folks? More taxes aren't the answer. Where's all that money going? We need a reset here. We need a restructuring. We can't keep the status quo. And I'm not necessarily meaning just cuts of people. The abusive that you're seeing with the finances, at least at the county level, it's not from the individual departments. It's out of the commissioners unit. It's buying things we can't afford. Now we're going to get a free grant for $50,000, and we're going to get more grant money to buy more things that we don't
Just
need,
think about
and then we're going to maintain it, and you're going to raise the taxes.
I mean, it comes down to this, and Gino's got it right. It comes down to this: we can't sit and point fingers at what they're doing wrong. We need people to stand up and change things.
We need to stand up, demand those answers. Those right to knows, hiding behind an NDA, that's ridiculous.
We got to figure out how we can correct it. And in the next few weeks, everybody says, "Well, you're always complaining. You're always complaining." Well, and in the next few weeks, I can show you how we can. And this is going to be a long road.
Right, and the solution is it really is a political solution, I believe.
This isn't
because no one's going to come to save us, folks.
There's no straight line to the top of the mountain here. So what we got to do is
if you want to live and reside in Fayette County, you've got to get involved. We need people to get involved.
And we need people that are willing to say no. We don't need to spend $50,000 on another study. I mean, just think about all the money they spent on the studies for the internet, and we still don't have internet yet in many places in the county. And
it's ridiculous. Let's talk about taking care of the people that are here now, the people who have sacrificed and stayed. They're trying to design a county for people that aren't here. They think they're going to do these things with our tax dollars. Then all of a sudden, it's going to attract people. That's just asinine.
Let me tell you something. I didn't get to go nowhere last year, but the year before or a year and a half ago, we was actually in the South Pacific. I love the South Pacific. I love the ocean. I don't know. I got sand in my shoes. That's just the way I am. But when you go to these places, Gino, and you visit these islands, you can see what has happened. These people that count on the tourism trade to make a living.
Sure.
So when the Chinese plague came through, or COVID, however you want to do it, came through and it wiped out, the cruise ships couldn't go, the airplanes couldn't go to all the B&Bs and the self-included resorts and all these things, and they had to shut all this down. These people were devastated, and they're still not. They still haven't been able to recorrect from all this.
Well, wait.
The economy depends on people coming, and then when you build a tourism trade, when you're trying to say to Fayette County, you're going to build the main industry is going to be tourism. It will not work. That path that goes through Connellsville, we know how many people traveled on it last year. We know.
John, I made a living directly off the Great Allegheny Passage. I was very fortunate. I had one of the biggest businesses for a decade on the Great Allegheny Passage. And then recently I took advantage of an opportunity with the Texas Eastern and made money shuttling bikers. But I'm telling you, folks, it just isn't there. Yes, if you are the owner of a business on the bike trail, you can do good if you work at it. But it's you make yourself a good job. There's opportunities for very few people. The bulk of the people that work on the hospitality industry and associated with these trails, at best, it's seasonal work, but you're not going to raise a family. You're not going to do these. It's a very vulnerable type.
Well, then on top of
industry.
all this, Gino, they can't even get the tax. They can't even get the hotel tax money right in Fayette County. Jack Purcell even said it in a meeting. This is a hard thing to track. Yeah, I mean, we had 4 different opinions from at the county commissioners meeting when somebody brought it up. There was 4 different things said. None of them even coincided or even meshed.
We
need something.
A close friend of ours did right to know request. Yep. We compared them. There's based just on what she was given on the right to know request, there's missing unaccounted for money, let's say. And, and the commissioners are trying to dodge it. So what they've done at the last commissioners meeting, they contracted with a third agency to handle it. And that's great going forward, right? Because maybe it is too. But what about going backwards the last 10 years?
Well, let's just go back 5 years.
5 years. There's approximately $1 million unaccounted for each year,
Well, there's probably
I'm being conservative.
We're very conservative, about half as much, 50%.
And this should be easy, right? We collect it in. The treasurer can give you a report. Here's what was collected, and here's where it got paid out. What's hard about that? They give a chunk of it to a lot of dodgy things, and we're seeing they're giving you half the information. Well, here's where this bill got paid or that bill got paid. It should be easy. A simple audit of the tourism money coming in out of the treasurer's office, and then go over and audit Laurel Highlands Visitors Bureau and get certified statements of what they received, and look at the difference. And where did it go? It's simple math.
The treasurer's supposed to collect the money. The controller is supposed to write the check for it.
Right.
It's just like in your house. It's just like at home where your wife's a.
Where does it go? I mean,
you're in a controller, so yeah. I mean, that's just how it is. But I mean, where does it go after that? I mean,
and how the commissioners can claim to be so fiscal hawks, and they don't put out a $3.9 million for bid.
Well, the other thing is too. I'm going to hit on this real briefly. We only got a couple minutes left, but I'm going to hit on this. The contract for the counties for the labor unions up, and I haven't got to see the contract yet. I will get to see it here real soon. What they proposed, that they were proposing to give them a 1% increase. Now, when you offer somebody 1% and then you raise the amount they have to pay for their health insurance, and the cost of living goes into there's no cost of living into that, and it's just not fair.
When the commissioners spend money and abuse the purse strings, there's no money to pay their people. When you're buying buildings and expanding, and you're jumping into these projects, and your focus is on pie in the sky things with the economic agencies, and you're not even telling the public about it. You're working on these things in secret. Give me a break. We don't need secrets. Our government's not meant to work that way. It's meant to things you're supposed to bid out. You're supposed to keep spending down. They just keep spending. Our budget this year is a little bit higher than last year.
One of the things
and they act like it's a big success that they held the line. Give me a break.
One of the things that I will tell you on all these contracts, the overruns. I forget what there's a real technical word for it, but when something happens, you've dealt with things with the rock clauses.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's similar to that if you understand what a rock clause is. Say you're on a project and you're building something and you run into some problem, and then you have to up the amount of the project.
It's unforeseen, and it's unforeseen. Yeah.
But them things should be brought back. The thing should be stopped unless it's a life-threatening thing. Things should be stopped, and then it needs to be reevaluated. Now, I know there's sometimes you can't stop things. You got to keep moving forward. But in these overruns, that's where all the money gets because they don't have to be bid. They don't have to be seen. They just can say, okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and do that. Gravel went up $5 a ton or $10 a ton. We can't help that.
Well, look, but here's the real problem. Like this county's collapsing, people, and we have to stop it. I mean, we knew that Penn State Fayette Camp was going to go a year ago. And we were told, people told us we were crazy.
Yep.
We knew that was going to happen. We fought these injection wells off. We were lucky there. But Uniontown Police, we've got the school boards. We've got all kind of problems in this county that frankly aren't being addressed.
Yep. Hey, well, Gino, we got to call it quits because Joe Orsulak's going to be coming on with his Golden Diamond review. And but anyways, it's good to be back. Weather's a little different here than what I was. But,
well, we're glad to have you back, John.
That's okay, but we're going to get ready to go swimming in the river on January the 1st. For everybody who wants to bring some canned goods down to the Polar Bear Plunge down in Connellsville or Masontown. They're having one too this year. So, on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile with the sad. Love what you got and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. People change. Things go wrong. But just remember, the
ride goes on.
God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly.